Hi children, today's our topic is about sustainable development. So last class ma'am already taught you what is sustainable development. Anyway, once again we will discuss what is sustainable development. Sustainable development means balancing the use of resources and conserve them for future generation. So what is sustainable development? Means balancing the use of resources, and conserve them for future generation. So ma'am told you, if we are using more and more resources, some type of natural resources, if we are using more and more, what will happen? It will be exhausted. So how we want to use it? We have to balance the use. Then only it can be conserved for future generation. Next generation it can be conserved. That is known as sustainable development. Now we will look what are the steps taken for the sustainable development. Our next topic, towards sustainable development. Towards sustainable development. Government along with the people took many sensitive plans, regulations for safeguarding our environment. Let us discuss one by one. First one, EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment, Notification on Environment Impact Assessment, 1996. So first one, 1996. Okay, notification. EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment. EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment. That is first one in the year 1996. Actually, it made all the developmental project ecologically sensitive. So you know, a country like India, many developmental programs are there. So what the developmental program can take, okay, but it must be ecologically sensitive. Every developmental project made ecologically sensitive. Second one, Coastal Regulation Zone, CRZ. Coastal Regulation Zone. This notification given on 1991. As per the Coastal Regulation Zone, it made taking the natural resources for commercial, assessing the natural resource for commercial activities, it made difficult. Besides this, many other programs taken by the government or the community. Now we will discuss one by one. First one, spread of organic farming. In many states, organic farming are going on or practicing organic farming. That you know children, organic farming means it mainly depends upon natural fertilizers and all. It won't use any chemical fertilizers, pesticides, etc. So natural or organic farming, actually it is good for our environment. So in many states, different states like Maharashtra, then Uttarakhand and all, they are following this method. They are using organic farming method. So that is another point we can tell. Another thing, women self-help groups. They are manufacturing many of the items that you know. So these all manufactured item, actually it must be based on natural resources. That is another point. So one ma'am told that is about organic farming. Many states in India, okay, like Maharashtra, then Uttarakhand and all, they are following organic farming. Next one ma'am told about the self-help groups. These self-help groups, they means Kudumbashree and all, you know. So these self-help groups, they are manufacturing different items. So their manufactured items that must be based on natural resources. Then ma'am told about decentralized water harvesting facilities. Decentralized water harvesting facilities, it will be a relief for the drought prone states. You know, many states in India facing acute water shortage. For example, we can tell Rajasthan, Chennai, Tamil Nadu, Chennai, and all know facing lot of water shortage, acute water shortage. So these type of state, if decentralized water harvesting facility is there, means it can solve their problem. So rainwater harvesting facility, that to practice rainwater, people are encouraged to practice rainwater harvesting facility. Okay, ma'am told you in Tamil Nadu it is compulsory. Others they were punished. Okay, so Tamil Nadu is the first state it made rainwater harvesting system made compulsory. So I think you understood. Anyway, children, people are encouraged for rainwater harvesting. And another steps towards conservation, that conservation of forest and wildlife, that also another steps taken in India. In many villages itself or communities itself, they are taking many measures for the protection of forest and wildlife. We can tell many state example: Odisha, Uttarakhand, Nagaland, Maharashtra, Rajasthan. These all are some state example we can tell. Here the villages or the communities, they themselves protecting forest and wildlife. Then many holistic development of villages, that also another point we can tell. Many developmental projects are going on in village for making the village from rural to urban. Many developmental projects, many holistic development programs, everything going on. So these all are some steps taken by the people along with the government for safeguarding our environment. I think this topic is clear to you. Everybody try to study at least 5 points, okay, which are the main policies taken towards sustainable development. In this chapter, we studied what is environment, what are the components of environment, and we studied about human environment and natural environment. I think all the topic is clear to you. Now everybody take your textbook. We will do the textual exercise. Page number 117. Fill in the blanks. The environment comprises the dash and dash surrounding of an organism. First one, biotic and abiotic. Second one, dash is the most abundant gas in the atmosphere, nitrogen. Third one, ocean make up dash percentage of earth's surface, 71%. Fourth one, dash is made up of rocks and form the continents and ocean beds, crust. Fifth one, dash is a narrow contact zone of air, water and land where living organisms exist, biosphere. Next one, B section, choose the correct option. The gas that make up the realm of the earth, atmosphere. This gas condenses to cause precipitation, water vapor. Third one, this is an abiotic component of the environment, rock. Fourth one, this animal lives in an aquatic ecosystem, fish. Fifth one, this human activity upset the ecological balance, deforestation. I think today's topic is clear to you. If you have any doubt, ask me. We will meet in the next class.